10 most dangerous places to live in England. I need to begin this by quickly telling you that England can't be considered one of the most dangerous places to live. For sure, it's a lot safer than Mexico and many other countries. However, nowhere is absolutely safe, and England is having its own share of notoriety. You're exposed to more dangers when you're living in some places in England. Here's a list of the most dangerous places to live. Before I continue, I feel the urge to draw your attention to some other important facts. These top 10 most dangerous places are not necessarily the worst places to live in England. We simply rate them for violent crimes, such as armed robberies or thefts, sex attacks or rape, arsons and murders. Our ranking relies heavily on figures from the Home Office, showing the number of offences committed across the previously mentioned 5 victim-based crime categories and the latest government figures. This ranking deserves serious consideration by those already living in England and those considering moving to the country. They can see where they're most likely to be at risk of certain crimes. 10. Northumbria. Let's begin with this northernmost county of England that still retains its many Roman remains, such as Hadrian's Wall. This Anglo-Saxon kingdom in northern England shares its boundaries with County Durham, Cumbria, Tyne and Wear, southeast Scotland and the North Sea. Also known as Northumberland, the name derived from the Old English North and Humberside is unfortunately one of the 10 most dangerous places to live in England. If you consider the fact that it's a place known for its castles, with more of them than any other country in England, you might find it hard to believe that Northumbria could be found in this kind of list. However, as a county on the border between England and Scotland, you should understand that it can be a centre for many conflicts. Out of every 1,000 people in Northumbria, 75.7 are likely to suffer one or more of these crimes. 9. Lancashire. The next on the list of most dangerous places to live in England is Lancashire, a ceremonial, non-metropolitan county in northwestern England. The county, having Preston as its administrative centre, has featured more than once on the league table of most dangerous places to live in England and Wales, according to Home Office figures, which highlight how many offences were committed per head. In Lancashire, the historical area on the Irish Sea that's noted for textiles, also bordering Cumbria, Greater Manchester, West Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, Merseyside and Cheshire. The rate of these 5 victim-based crimes is high. It's given a 78.5 crimes per 1,000 people. 8. London, a Metropolitan Police District. London, of all places. Again, well, the city always features in all good, but also bad indices. Since 2001, when it recorded the lowest number of Metropolitan police officers, the capital city's case of street violence has been worsening. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Cressida Dick, working with London Mayor Sadiq Khan and Justice Secretary David Gauke, determined that the middle-class drug users are the culprit. The figures on hand, especially from the Home Office, are not all encouraging. They show that those living in London are more than twice as likely to be robbed than most other places in the country. Consider this: 44.2 of every 1,000 Londoners will be robbed. This is the highest rate of reported theft offences. As London gangs are extending their tentacles to the outer suburbs, the criminal networks are reaching the untapped territories to push up violent crimes across the rest of the country. According to the Home Office, London has a rate of 80.3 in 1,000 in the rate of theft, sex crimes and violent attacks. 7. Greater Manchester. I wonder how Greater Manchester, a metropolitan county in northwest England, can ever be exempted from the list of 10 most dangerous places to live in England, if we're to be kind to anyone moving here. The place is combined authority area in the northwest, comprising 10 metropolitan boroughs of Bolton, Bury, Oldham, Rochdale, Stockport, Tameside, Trafford, Wigan, Manchester and Salford. The county's situation is so serious that Chief Constable Ian Hopkins announced his resignation, quitting his £200,000 a year job just after Greater Manchester Police came under special measures due to its findings. The damning report indicates that the police authority had failed to record as many as 80,000 crimes in just 1 year. Well, for your information, the combined crime rate in Greater Manchester is, according to the Home Office, 81.9 in 1,000. 6. Kent. Now let's move southward to see the next one of the 10 most dangerous places to live. We're considering the county of Kent in the southeast. History has it that as former Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, Kent was the county to be colonised by the Romans. Kent has been a victim of widespread violent crime these days, as the crimes are penetrating beyond city centres. As homegrown gangs and county-lined networks started increasing in Kent, knife crime soared by 40% last year. Even children aged 10 in Kent are involved in gangsterism. The rate of crime in Kent is 8.2 in 1,000 residents. 5. Humberside. Where is Humberside? Apologies to the millennials here. We're beaming our searchlight of dangerous places in England to a place known to be a non-metropolitan and ceremonial administrative county in northern England. Humberside was carved out of Yorkshire and Lincolnshire from the 1st of April 1974 until the 1st of April 1996. Then it shared its north and west border with North Yorkshire, its southwest border with South Yorkshire and Nottinghamshire, and southern border with Lincolnshire. This should give you an idea of the region of Midlands of England we're referring to. Now, consider the crime situation in the region. The rate is 83.3 to 1,000 residents. 4. Durham. Durham is our next point of call in the search for the most dangerous places to live in England. Also known as the City of Durham, it shouldn't have been found on any bad ranking list if it had lived up to its description as a principal town, a cathedral city, and civil parish in the district and county of Durham. Unfortunately, County Durham, covering 1,051 square miles, with a population of 866,846, recorded 83.9 crimes per 1,000 people in our year of consideration. It once made the list as the 9th most dangerous place in England and Wales when 62,878 crimes were recorded. 3. South Yorkshire. This metropolitan county in the northeast of England is comprised of the southernmost part of the Yorkshire and the Humber region. Now, with this location, it would be surprising if it manages to escape all these criminal records. The ceremonial county of South Yorkshire conveniently positions itself as the 3rd most dangerous place to live in England, with a record of 83.9 crimes per every 1,000 people. 2. West Yorkshire. Still in Yorkshire, this time the West, where the Operation Gemlock was launched in response to the spate of serious violence and knife crimes. It's been recording the highest rate of violent crime, 26 murders in the most recent year. Security agencies once made more than 4,000 arrests, during which more than 500 weapons of various weights were seized. West Yorkshire features very prominently in the news for murders, missing persons, rivalry caused by drug dealings, and gang-related crimes. In West Yorkshire alone, there are some 146 crime gangs, about half of which have linkages to drug dealing. The deaths of 39-year-old Ajdar Bajdar, whose body was discovered in a wall cavity of a former bank building, and 20-year-old Mohammed Ayaz are not doing any good to West Yorkshire criminal records, which have gone up to 435% since 2011. No wonder the county had a huge record of 96.8 crimes per 1,000 people. 1. Cleveland. The unarguably most dangerous place to live in England is Cleveland. It has the highest proportion, which is 99.4 per 1,000 crime victims in England and Wales. Arson rates in Cleveland are 4 times the national average, greater than those of any other place on the list, at a huge cost to the taxpayer. Some £18 million is spent on fighting deliberate fires when bins or cars are torched. For instance, the Home Office figures revealed that between June 2019 and June 2020, 23,675 violent crimes were perpetrated. Rates of homicides, harassment, rape and serious injuries to drivers and commuters kept on increasing. No doubt Cleveland remains unrivaled as the worst place to live in England. Did you notice that the majority of the 10 most dangerous places are in the north? It seems that the further north you go, the more dangerous it becomes. Well, that's a topic for another day. Since change is the only constant thing, we can expect the situation of these places, or at least some of them, to improve in the future. Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.